The metaverse has gone from sci-fi storytelling to the next evolution of the internet. There may only be one thing clear about this new ethereal concept. We're finding it hard to say exactly what it is. Part of the problem stems from not being able to place the definition to an existing framework of knowledge. Is it VR? Is it a video game? AR? Crypto and NFTs? Or is it social media? Well, it's a kind of fusion of all these elements into a new medium. But it's been said there's nothing truly new under the sun, so we're going to take a glimpse into the vein of the metaverse in this video and attempt to find its place. First, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more daily crypto news content, and let's get into it. The term metaverse was coined by the author Neal Stephenson in his 1993 novel Snow Crash. In the dystopian sci-fi novel, humans as programmable avatars interact with each other and software agents in a three-dimensional virtual space that uses the metaphor of the real world. This is the original version of what the metaverse is, which describes the roots of what we are discussing today. Today's metaverse is an evolution of the internet, as a hybrid of the material world and the virtual world. This understanding has been present throughout the development of the internet. In the 80s and the 90s, the term cyberspace was thrown around as a way to understand the world of the internet as distinct from the material world, or meat space. The metaverse understands the world as a distinct place that is embedded in the internet. It might be better described as a point in time rather than as a place. Here's a quote from Mark Zuckerberg on the recent Lex Fridman podcast 267. Mark says, "A lot of people think that the metaverse is about a place, but one definition is that it's about a time, when basically immersive digital worlds become the primary way in which we live our lives and spend our time. I think that's a reasonable construct. From that perspective, I think you also just want to look at this as a continuation." Today's metaverse, as defined by Mark Zuckerberg, originated in 2014 when Facebook, now Meta, purchased the VR company Oculus. This was the direction change that gave the public a different view of Facebook, from the social media company to something that encompasses VR and possibly more. Facebook rebranded in 2021 to Meta, a company name that indicated a fundamental shift in what the organization stands for and where its future is going. Here's a quote from Mark Zuckerberg in 2021 and a company letter. "We've gone from desktop to web to mobile, from text to photos to videos. But this isn't the end of the line. The next platform will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. We call this the metaverse, and it will touch every product we build," he said in his founder's letter. So let's have a breakdown of the pieces that will make up this embodied internet. There are several developing limbs to the body of the metaverse that are forming this new world that could similarly be seen as a new kind of social fiber in the way that we interact with each other as human beings. This is the postmodern landscape that we are building out for a future that has a distinct turning point to the dead modern past. As is typical with tech innovation, we build what is new and embrace the possibility of what it will turn out to be without actually knowing much about how it's going to turn out. Social media has helped us develop a culture of communicating through digital space with organization en masse. This development is postmodern as it requires us to discover a new process of getting along as a multicultural society that is separate from the traditional roots. What is popular is what will have to be relatable to the largest audience, which is necessarily what is general enough to be relatable to a diverse range of people, by definition anti-traditional. Simultaneously, niches are forming that accentuate a return to the nostalgia of the past, suggesting there's been something lost in the departure. We will have to discover a new way to congeal the old wisdom with the vibrancy of this new compound. The development of the crypto landscape is the beating heart of the metaverse, and the blockchain sets the pace and rhythm for this nascent global body. All the variations of the crypto communities will foster its indigenous culture. The recent rise of NFTs in tech social culture has given us another piece of the puzzle. We can now see a connection from the purely digital community to a social economy that is connected to our day-to-day lived experience. It's cool to rep a Bored Ape on your Twitter profile. It's cool to hold a Ronaldo CR7 NFT. Another example is the collection created by the high-end fashion brands Prada or Givenchy, or sporting brands Nike and their crypto kicks. These can be bought and shown off on social media platforms and will likely become more real and present in the day-to-day world as the culture and tech develops. Think about your crypto kicks being shown off on your feet through AR. The evolution of gaming gives us another piece of the metaverse. The development of online communities in MMORPGs has given us the technical capacity to live out virtual experiences on a grand scale, with representations that enhance our view of reality with a creative capacity that could scarcely be imagined in our own dreams. Here's the thing, the metaverse, philosophically, has an interesting tie-in with the way we view reality. We are living out a paradigm shift that is restarting the heart of a pandemic-riddled world out on its stretcher. The technology that is being developed for the metaverse is facilitating a more creative way of looking at the world. It's an augmentation of the real world that will give us more energy and vitality as the full picture comes to form. Here's where the understanding gets hazy. We can trace the lineage of the metaverse and its corresponding parts, but to give a clear picture of what it will look like is very difficult because it hasn't fully formed yet. What we can say is that anything we imagine about it is very likely not going to do it justice because it's a combination of all these parts that we have dissected and an enhancement by what organically forms through the way in which we interact with it. The millennial generation onward has had a distinct difference to the generations prior, mainly due to the internet being strongly embedded in our lives. The access to information and the connection to different cultures and the world at large has created a cultural sensitivity that is slowly manifesting into a new holistic way of looking at the world. The borders and boundaries of the past are slowly breaking down as we manifest a new world image for a global society. The question is, what are we as human beings when we have made our peace with the past? What is the future trajectory of the human race? We can see clearly the kind of technological change that we have gone through in the last generation has been second to none in history. The world is coming together at such a rapid pace. The metaverse is giving us a clue as to how communication will function in a new globally connected society. What do you think of the metaverse? What do you think it's going to turn out to be? Leave a comment below. That's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow for more daily crypto news.